Hi everybody, good afternoon. I'm still doing my use what I have challenge, and I had several of these little painted envelopes. They originally were like this, and I used these last week to make a cute little book I was real pleased with. But I had painted, and I made 2 books, but I had painted more than I used up. So I wanted to find another way to use them. And so what I did was, and I'm still doing, we're looking at little stocking stuffers and things like that. So I decided I would make a little envelope journal, purse size envelope journal. And it just has one little signature in it, and it's got a little pocket so that you could put little things in there, receipts or maybe coupons or something like that, and you could keep little treasures in there. And so I just came on to make this little journal today and show you how I did it. Now, this envelope is no different than this envelope. See? And this kind of a journal you can find all over the internet. So this is not anything new by any means. It's just that I happen to have these little tiny envelopes, and I just wanted to use them. It's about using what you've got. So if you don't have a little tiny envelope like this, you could use a bigger envelope. Okay, so we're gonna start with this envelope, and here's the little flat part, and the little flat part I put in the back. The reason being is that if you're going to put stuff in there, you want to be able to, I just didn't think in the front was as easy to get into. I thought it was easier to put stuff in from back here. So and I needed a closure that would hold it all together, so we're going to use an elastic closure again. And I wanted some little dangles, so anyways, we're going to start with our envelope. This one happens to be painty. You could use a plain one. And I'm just going to fold it in half. And I'm going to use a bone folder just because it makes it easier. And then we have to have a signature. And now these envelopes, where did my measurer go? Measurer. My English is very good today. These little envelopes are 5 3/8 by 4 1/16. So I took 3 sheets of copy paper and cut this 5 inches by 4 inches, because what I'm going to do is, and there's 3 sheets, and if you take 3 sheets of copy paper, you can get 4 sets of 3 out of it. And I'm going to take these and fold them on the 5-inch mark, so they are now 4 inches from top to bottom and 2.5 inches wide. And I am using my bone folder just because it really makes it easier if everything is creased. Okay, and then I'm going to take these and I am just going to layer them together. Oops, missed one. And gives me quite a few sheets of paper in my little book. All right, now we need to mark with a pencil where we're going to punch our holes. And I use a centering ruler just because I like that. It makes it easier for me. They're not real expensive. Tim Holtz has one. This happens to be a Fiskars one. And what you do is you find out that you make it even on both sides, and then it tells me 0 in the center. If you don't have one of these, just use a ruler and then divide. And we're going to mark right in the center, right in the fold. And then I'm going to mark 1.5 inches up from the center out here. And oops, that was not 1.5. This is 1.5. Okay. And it will be easier for you to see that on here. And since this is 4 inches, it will be 2 on each side of the center. And then I just find my crease and I find center and 1.5 inches up and 1.5 inches down. You should be able to see those now. Okay? Now I have my handy dandy little phone book. Now, you know, somebody said the other day they haven't seen a phone book in a long time. A friend gave me this one, so I agree. It's been a long time since I've seen a phone book. If you don't have a phone book, any thick book that will open like this, it just cradles. It's in lieu of having a book cradle. Then I have a pokey tool, and I just poke a hole right through where my marks are. This just makes it easier to get it in the fold. Now, because I'm going to put 2 threads through each hole, it's easier if I go ahead and make sure the holes are big enough right now. Now, if you're worried about these sliding apart, you can clip them. I just usually set them aside. And I'm going to do the same thing in my cover. And again, I'm going to make sure I have my holes poached all the way through. Now I have lots and lots of colors of this, so I hunted up a color that would go with the outside. This is pearl cotton. It's an embroidery type thread. It's just something I have a lot of, so we want 3 links, but then I want to make little dangles. See here on there, so I need enough to play with. And then on top of that, I want to double this, so I am going to add some for dangles and then double it. It's easier to have too much and cut it off than it is to have too little. And then I'm going to put that in my needle. And I'm going to slide my needle all the way to the middle. This way I can put in 2 threads at the same time, just like I would normally put in 1. Now, this is it has 3 holes, but it is going to be a little different than I would normally do, because I want my dangles to come out here right at the top edge. And because this may go in somebody's purse and it might get banged around, I want it to wrap around the outside right here. Let's take this off so you can see that. Um, this just helps to hold this in place just a little bit better, and especially if it's going to get some wear and tear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, instead of at the middle hole like you would normally, I'm going to start at the top hole from the inside, and I'm going to go out here, and then I'm going to go back in the middle hole, and it's kind of like an in and out thing, and then I'm going to go back outside the other, through the hole to the outside. So I've gone in, out, out, in, out. Now, at this stage of the game, it's easiest to get your threads the same length if you do this now, because then you don't have to fight trying to pull them through. So I just kind of string that out there, and I adjust my thread until these are about the same length. And see, they still aren't. So okay, got hold of it. There we go. Now then, now they're close enough now. Okay, so then I'm on the outside of my cover, and I wrap it, the thread, around and go back through here. Now you want to be sort of careful and not poke through your other threads. It just helps if you haven't split your thread. Now don't pull that too tight. You don't want to warp your cover. Now I'm going to go back in from the middle one, and this is another place where you have to be careful not to split your threads. And then back out through the top. And what we've done is now there is now a full line of thread on the inside, and there will be a full line of thread on the outside. Okay, so you see here I have thread all the way down and all the way down, but it's in and out and in and out. Now it's easiest if I clip off my needle, and I want to tie this so that it's right here at the top. And sometimes it's easier to do that if you stand it up. Again, don't pull it too tight. And I usually do a couple of ties. Okay, now I'm just going to set that aside for right now, because we can put our little beads on in a few minutes. And I want to make my elastic tie. Okay, and I have elastic. This came, it would be, if I had hair ties, I might have used a hair tie on this one, because I think it would be right about the right length, but I did not have any of those, so this is what I'm using. And I'm going to go around it. I need to have enough of this thread, or elastic rather, to wrap around it and tie. So I'm going to give myself about that much. And then I'm going to tie it closed. And I'm going to put it right about in the middle. See here, there's a hole right there where I had the middle. And when I tie this time I want to be careful, and I want to make sure I tie it with a square knot. And if you're not sure what a square knot is, check YouTube. I'm sure there's tons of videos for a square knot. Okay, now I pulled the knot offset so it's over here. And I'm going to get my tacky glue, and we want tacky glue. We want something that's going to Be a little flexible, but hold it. And I'm going to lift that knot up and put some glue. And we want to be nice and generous with our glue. And I'm going to put that knot right in it. Now I'm probably going to glue out to the sides of the knot just a little bit. We're going to cover it up with our little decoration here in a minute, because I want to clip these off just a little bit so that they're not quite so long. Okay. Now I have some, this is white eyelash yarn. We don't need a lot, maybe 4 inches. What we're going to do is just make a little fluffy to go underneath our little trim here. Now I got out a few different things because I thought you might not have what I have, and these are bead caps, beads, but I also have this piece of trim. It was a piece of some sort of ribbon trim, and when I saw it, I had to have it. I got it at the fabric store. It's got so many little pieces in it, I thought it would be perfect for embellishments. So, and it's just on a nylon thread, so you can cut them apart and cut off their little excess pieces. That's just thread that holds it together, and it's just a little plastic thing. Perfect for embellishments. There again, it's something I have collected. Now I'm going to take my eyelash trim, and I'm going to take it and just wrap it around my little finger. If I can make it go around my little finger. There we go. And you see, kind of, it makes it fluff out all over the place. Then I'm going to take my tacky glue, and I am going to put a good amount of tacky glue on there. And I'm going to slip it off my little finger, and I'm going to put it right down in that tacky glue. Okay. And then I'm going to put glue on the back of my little trim piece. A button would work beautifully. And you wouldn't have to have the eyelash trim. I mean, just a little button. It's something to cover up the knot of the elastic. That's all I'm really doing. So now then, I'm going to put on the little beads. And then frankly, I found that it was a good idea to stick this under some weight. It just held it down while the glue was drying. So I'm going to put the beads on first. And what I got out, these are size 6 silver beads. They're just what we call seed beads. Something in my stash. You could use other beads, but I happen to like these on it. You could use something besides silver. I just thought it was really cute with the silver on it. And there's size 6s. The problem is the knot from this thread will come through a size 6 bead. So I have a bag of size 8s as well. And that just, it makes it so that the knot does not slide through. And this is why you want a fairly long thread. It just makes life a lot easier trying to get your little beads on there. Now I did wet the end of my thread to make it easier. And I just put like 4 of the big ones. And then one, that's size 6s, and then one size 8. And then I gave it about 2 inches. I mean, I didn't measure. I just tied a knot down here about 2 inches down from the corner of my little book. And I actually tied 3 knots in the same place. And if you have trouble doing that, grab up your needle and stick it in the little loop. It will make it tie into the same spot. Like here, I'll show you. I just put my needle and put it and hold it on the knot, and then it'll pull right down to the knot. Okay, so once I tied 3 times, that knot's not going to come through the size 8 bead. And I just repeated that. I've got glue on my fingers now, so it's hard to do the thread. Now, if you guys like my video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I made another little book, envelope book with these decorated envelopes. If you are interested, it was a lot of fun. And I'm not sure what day I'm on. But I have been trying to use the things I have without purchasing new items to make what I want to make something, and make something every day. And it's been a lot of fun. Okay, that one didn't tie right in the right place, so I'm going to just put a 4th knot in it. No reason I can't. And I'm not going to make you guys sit and watch me put the rest of the little beads on, but there's 2 of them, and I'll put the other 2 on in just a minute. Now, like I said, I would take this and put it under some weight. It just made it sit down a lot better. Here's the first one I made. It's got little dangles. It's got an elastic band closure. It's got a nice thick signature in it, and it's got this cute little pocket. So now you guys go have some fun, enjoy your afternoon, make some art, leave a comment if you liked it, and I'll see you the next time. Bye-bye.